In this lecture, I'm just going to explain about what are the motivations and effect. So what does it mean? And I will be covering some of the important topics here. And the first one is, and why this is important for marketers to understand the motivation process. So we should know that motivation helps us to understand what causes people to behave in certain way in order to satisfy their need, and motivation can vary in strength and directions and result in motivational conflict. What is the meaning of motivational conflict here? So motivation conflict means that you want to do something, you want to achieve one thing, and then the side way again that you want to achieve the another thing, but there are the two alternatives, right? But you want to choose only one, so that can be conflict in the motivations, right? So there are some theories related to this, and theories may be like some drive theories and expectancy theories. And as a second topic that I will cover here, what are the various consumer need influences the consumer behavior. So there are different needs. So needs can be satisfied. So marketer definitely that he will try to satisfy consumer needs. But the reason any product is purchased can vary widely. So why they are going to buy some product or services? The reason may be different. The identification of consumer motives is a very important steps in ensuring that the appropriate needs will be met by a product. And traditional approaches were there. In the traditional approaches to the customer behavior have focused on the ability of the product to satisfy the rational need, maybe some kind of need that can be uh, utilitarian needs or motives, and but there are some other kinds of needs that we will discuss. And the third is that I will be discussing about the involvement with the product, and marketing messages and purchase situation are very important for the consideration. So product involvement here, it means that can range from very low to high, or in which in very low if we say in which a purchase decision are made by your by inertia, means doing nothing, and to very high in which the consumer form very strong bond with that particular product or services they are going to buy. In addition, we can say considering the degree to which consumer are involved with the product, or marketing strategies need to help or assist the extent of involvement with the marketing messages and with the purchase situation. And the fourth topic that I will be covering, that a consumer can experience a different type of effective responses which can influence the consumer behavior. There may be some discrete emotions, such as maybe sometimes people feel so happy to buy those products, right? Just maybe the motive. Sometime envy, disgust, guilt, or maybe embarrassment can influence a variety of consumer output. And social media can also tap into these different emotions. So now look at this, that this is the motivational process, and that leads people to behave as they do. A want is a manifestation of a need. And in this ad, what you can see, and this ad is related and from the Nutri-Grain reminders, and reminds us of a way to satisfy a hunger need. It shows an acrobat getting their Nutri-Grains fix during the London commute as part of their morning fuel ambassadors sampling team. So there are some tensions in the marketing. What is the meaning of tension? So tension in relation to the marketing, that will be that refer to the unpleasant state that exists if a person consumption's needs are not fulfilled, right? Sometimes the people want to buy something to eat, but they don't buy it, right? Because of some reason. That may be some tension. This is the one example. Another, maybe some person they want to have something, maybe pair of shoes or mobile phone or other things, right? So in that cases, there may be again some tensions in the mind of the consumer. Then what is the meaning of here that Grumpy, like the people may be grumpy, mean irritable if they don't have it or they don't going to eat that or having a food. Homeostasis. So what is that? This state of may, for example, of a hunger, for example, activate the goal-oriented behavior that attempts to reduce or eliminate this unpleasant state and return to the balanced one. And this balanced state of mind, that is called homeostasis. Consumer desire for adventure, this is one of the example. Sometimes some consumer are adventurous. Consumer desire for adventure even tinged with a bit of danger. Some, it means like some adventures are so danger, life threatening, even then they want and they love that, has meant by the big business for the adventure travel industry. Due to this, due to this motivation, due to their demand, the the travel industry is prospering, specifically into the adventures, which specializes in providing the white knuckled experiences. Let's take an example of some of the adventures. Bungee jumping, which originated in 1979 and has now been joined by white water rafting, skydiving, and mountaineering, biking, snowboarding, kite surfing, and other physical stimulating activities that are increased in popularity. Sometimes that motivations that occur when a need is aroused and the consumer wishes to satisfy some need is has generated in the mind of the client, right? They want something that has aroused. Now they want to satisfy those needs which have aroused in the mind of the people or a consumer, and which forces that drives these drives us to buy or use those products. So there is the like goal and a want. So goal means the consumer desired end state. So consumer want to fulfill that goal, want to achieve that goal. Want is a manifestation of the consumer need. Whatever the consumer need, have some need there, and they want to manifest. Manifest means come into reality. So it is important for marketer to understand the motivation process. Motivation helps us understand what cause people do behave in a certain way in order to satisfy an aroused need. So motivation can vary in strength and directions. So these are the two words very important. Hmm? That can be vary in the both things like maybe strength and the direction and result in the motivational conflict sometime. So two theories are there that examine the motivational strength are drive theories and the expectancy theories. So, what is the meaning of a motivational strength? This is a degree of willingness to expend energy to reach a goal. So, drive theory says biological need that produces unpleasant state of arousal means hunger. So, drive theory focus on the biological need that produces unpleasant state of arousal, such as your stomach grumbling during the morning class, for example. Drive theory, so which drive you to buy something to eat, right? Now, so we next we have homeostasis. What is the meaning of this, right? So homeostasis means that a behavior is pulled by expectations of achieving desired outcome, I mean needs or want. So expectation, we know that something is expected. Maybe that some persons are doing job somewhere and have some expectations in their mind that their boss will give some monetary form, maybe incentive, right? Or something else. So that is expectancy theory. So there are basic two basic theoretical category that account for motivational strength. The first one is drive theory. It's a biological need that produces unpleasant state of arousal, mean hunger. Homeostasis means a balanced state, and expectancy theory saying behavior is pulled by expectations of achieving desirable outcome, maybe need or demand or want. So drive theory, as that I have just explained with examples that hunger and people often do things that increase a drive state rather than decrease it. So definitely, people want to positive thing, right? So people want to increase a drive state rather than to decrease it. Expectancy theories like behavior is pulled by expectations of achieving desirable outcome. Maybe the positive consequences or a positive incentive could include things like money or even social status. Someone is working in the organization and expecting their social status or maybe the status in the organization. That is also one of the example of the expectancy theory. So now motivational directions. So way to satisfy need, right? So need has arisen, right? So one they want to satisfy those need, and how they can satisfy, there is a way to satisfy those needs, but there is a way, but also that it depends upon something. So it depends upon the individual unique history and learning experiences and his or her cultural involvement, all these three things. So first of all, the unique history, whatever that person was buying previously, now whenever they have bought it, have a good or bad experience, they have learned by using those articles, and his or her cultural environment as well, like what other people are using. So everything that whatever they are doing, they have some directions towards that. Maybe in the next time that may be willing to buy some product, or maybe just discarding or moving or shifting from the existing to the another brand. Hedonic consumption, what is the meaning of hedonic consumption? So it means as an influence on the consumer choice. I mean, what to eat and what not to eat. So it's upon the opinion and the discretion of the client, discretion of the person, what to do, what not to do, right? So hedonic consumptions, and this term refer to the multisensory and fantasy and emotional aspects of the consumer interaction with the product. Marketers try to satisfy the consumer needs, but the reason any product is purchased can vary widely, right? So it means no doubt marketers always try to satisfy the customer need what they want, right? But the reasons any product will be bought by the consumer, right? So all that will be totally depend upon the number of factors. The identification of the consumer motives is an important step in ensuring that the appropriate need will be met by a product. So whatever the product or services that you are selling or providing to the client, so this is also very important for the marketer to identify that the motive was fulfilled or not. If we talk about the types of need, so types of need are biogenic. So one is the biogenic need, means for example the air, water, food that we want, without this we cannot live. So that is biogenic. Then psychogenic is something different from the biogenic, with like some people want status. Like if they don't have status they will never die. Hmm? But they want status, so that's why it's different from the biogenic. And power, they want affiliation, they want a communication, they want to have a get together with someone. Hmm? So this is the second type of need. So next need is utilitarian. So utilitarian need, that is for the tangible attributes of the product. When you use some product, for example, miles per gallon in a car, or calories in a cheeseburger, or feeling hungry, right? So this is what at the time when you use those product, then you satisfy your need. Hedonic need is something different, which is for the excitement and self confidence and experimental. Let's take an example of the combination of these two, utilitarian and hedonics. So utilitarian, saying like a Nike shoes, they're no doubt so very comfortable. On the other side, its a style is also good, right? So both needs to be fulfilled. right? Combination of utilitarian and hedonics. So there is some goal valence. So valence may be a positive or a negative. So positive valued goal, right? Approach, and a negative valued goal means to avoid something. Hmm? So let's say take an example of a deodorant and mouthwash. Positive and negative motives often conflict with one another, right? If we talk about the motivational conflicts, so approach conflict, and what does it mean? This approach saying that you want both. That's spending your spring break, that you want to spend your spring breaks, your holidays, skiing in the Rockies or swimming in Cancun, right? So you want like both things. It means there's the conflict. You want to go to this place as well as that you want to go to this place. If there are some holidays on the other side that you want to do job as well as that you want to go to your native place, maybe in like another part of the world, right? So both things that is conflicting. What to do, right? So this is what approach conflict, and the second one is approach avoidance conflict. So desirable product have a negative consequences, right? So government ice cream has high fat contents. You know that this ice cream has high fat contents, but even then that you are going to buy it and want to consume it. Hmm? So again there will be conflict in the mind of the client, right? So that is approach avoidance conflicts. You want to avoid something, and the first one you want to approach something. You want to take both, first one and second option, both options that you want, right? So that is approach conflict. Avoidance is the opposite of that. So this is desirable product that have only and only negative consequences. If you do this one, there is the negative consequences for this, right? So that is you want to avoid those. But even then that is the conflict. Avoidance avoidance conflict. It means don't want either, right? Repairing your transmission or buy another car. For example, that you have a car and the car is not working well. It's the engine is broken, right? You want to change the transmission, it will cost you $2,000, and on the other side if you want to buy the second hand car, it's like $3,000. You think like if you are going to repair this the transmission and it will cost you like $2,000, it means that you definitely will not buy another car. If you're going to buy another car, why to repair the transmission? Only one thing at one time that you will do, otherwise there will be a total loss. Hmm? So this is avoidance conflict. Now, if we talk about that some other types of motivational conflict, that two desirable alternatives are there. One is this one, another one is this one. You go to market to buy something, maybe from the CK showroom. You want to buy a tracksuit. So the one tracksuit is there, another one is also there with a different quality and different price. Hmm? So you have a different alternative. You have some conflict. You are saying like this color and this fabric is really good, but the price is so high. On the other side, the other option is there, which is a little cheaper one and is on sale, but you don't like the color, right? So it means that there is also conflict going on in the mind of the client. Cognitive dissonance. Sometimes you buy something and that is the buying remorse. You bought it and after a couple of hours, maybe couple of days, that you think like I should not have bought it, right? So I should not, that is not my type of product. I don't like this one. At that moment I knew that somehow I bought it. At that time I just like this color, but now I don't want this color, or I have another color suit or something at home. I found it. So this is a cognitive dissonance. This is also a conflict in the mind of the consumer. Positive and negative aspects of the desired product, whatever the product that you are going to buy, have both positive and negative aspects, then you will think about it. So that will also create some conflict. A guilt of desire occurrence. So some guilt of desire that occur. Hmm? So something that you for example that you want to buy something, but later on you find something that I did something wrong. Maybe take an example of some donations, right? Yeah, someone asked you could put some money in the donation and you did not do this one. Later on you are feeling I should have spent maybe $5 or $10 on donation, but you didn't do that. Later on that you found some guilt, facing a choice with the two undesirable alternative. You don't want anything like, but you have to do this one only because of some reasons. That will also create some conflict. Now the first one is approach, then approach avoidance, then avoidance, right? So in this case you can see the three type of motivation and conflict. The first one is the burger and something else that you have approach. Both things are good that you want to buy some approach and avoidance. One thing that if you buy it means approach, you can go for this, and second that you need to avoid it. Like, why to eat ice cream that you are on diet? Hmm? So this is the approach avoidance. Avoidance, you don't want to go to hospital, you don't want to take some pills, right? Both things that you want to avoid it. So now the classifying the consumer needs: need for achievement, value, personal accomplishment, place a premium on product that signifies success. So some achievement, need for achievement, I have just achieved something, for example, that is also a need. And when you're going to fulfill those needs, that it means that was your motive. So need for affiliation, so need for the relevant products and services to alleviate loneliness. Need for power, so control one's environment and focus on the product that have mastery over the surroundings. So need for power means some product are there when you buy those product and you feel so energetic. Need for uniqueness, to assert one's individual identity. You want to be a unique, right? So you want those kind of product. So you, that is the uniqueness. Some different kind of shoes, some different kind of mobile phone, some different kind of hairstyle, some different kind of car. If you have that, you want that whatever that I have, very few people will have. That is the need for uniqueness. So some of the examples here: utilitarian needs say is a tangible attributes of the product such as kilometers per liter or gas of gas in a car, amount of fat in some product, uh, calories and protein in a cheeseburger, and the durability of a pair of jeans. So utilitarian need. Hedonic needs are subjective and experiential, leading consumers to rely on product because it meets their need for excitement, self-confidence, or fantasy, and perhaps to escape the mundane or routine aspects of your life. Biogenic needs. So biogenic needs are like, so people are born with the need for certain elements necessary to maintain their life. It's a biogenic. Food, water, air, shelter. These are called biogenic needs. And people have many other needs, however, they are not innate. That is, the psychogenic needs are acquired in the process of becoming a member of a culture. These include the need for status, need for power and affiliation, and so on. Now, classifying consumer needs, that biogenic and psychogenic, some examples are here. So, biogenic is like for the food, right? The water, air, sleep, sex, and shelter. Dominance and superiority, emotional stability, achievement, compliance, and order. And the psychogenic is autonomy and affiliation, analysis, the dependence, self depreciation, then exhibition, assistance, change, endurance, aggression, defense, dependence, and the play. Right. So all these are psychogenic needs. Now Maslow hierarchy is there. This is the very famous model. So in this, you can see that the relevant product. hmm, The first one is the physiological. So physiological is that without this, that you cannot survive. So that is something water, shelter, food. hmm. So that is very important. Like staple items, some medicines, some generics. So these are the physiological need. Once the physiological need is satisfied, then you want some extra need. So other need arises. What is that? That is known as the safety need. You have the all basic things to live: food, shelter, and water, whatever you have, right? Clothing. Now the next is safety, security, shelter, and protection that you want, right? So for this, what you do? You buy some insurance. You need some alarm system, or like some CCTV camera that you install at your home just for the security, or maybe that you save some money for the retirement, because if today that you don't have any job or a business, and later on at your like late ages, then if you find that you won't be able to work as that you'll be doing today, so that some money is required at that time. So that's why what you do some investments, right? So next is belongingness. So belongingness is the next need. When the both need are satisfied, then you want some like groomings of the product, club members, or maybe so drinks, so love, friendship, acceptance by other people, right? Then ego need. So ego needs are prestige, status, and accomplishment. Maybe you want some car or a furniture or upgradation of like something that you have, your credit card, maybe liquor or club members or something like that. The last need is the self actualization need and self fulfillment, enrichment, and experience, maybe hobbies, traveling, and education. Sometime at this stage you will not be working for money, you will be working for enjoyment. So that is the ultimate, the self actualization. Now the goal setting, that is very smart and can help the people or consumer to reach their goals, like the Nike and the running room. Hmm. Sometimes consumer decrease efforts when they get closer to the goal. Goal can be unconsciously activated. The Apple brand name activates the need to be unique and different. So in this case, like we know the Apple mobile phone is at the top along with the Samsung company, and incidental brand exposure such as seeking an advertisement or a product that can activate consumer goal, and the Apple brand can activate the motivation to be unique and to be different. If you're holding mobile phone in your hand, if you're holding that maybe the Motorola mobile phone or the Nokia mobile phone, then you will feel a different, right? If you're holding Samsung mobile phone or iPhone mobile phone, that you feel different, right? So this is that you want to show, or you want to be unique, and you want to be different. Now if we talk about the consumer involvement, so level of involvement maybe from the inertia to passion. So inertia means doing nothing, and it means the decision are made out of your habits, right? Inertia, the decision are made out of your habits. You don't spend too much time there, right? So passion is high involvement products that carry a lot of meaning for the consumer. Maybe buying some costly items, car, or maybe real estate or a property. Involvement, perceived relevance of an object based on one's need value, and interest. Not everyone is motivated to the same extent, right? So involvement is a motivational construct. It can be triggered by one or more of the different antecedent shown here in this figure. So look at this. So we have the three parameters here. Like let's say the involvement, that is the main factor for the personal, situational, and object, right? So there will be some involvement here at the center, that will be on the left hand side and right hand side, what you can do, how we can coordinate. So just starting with this, the level of involvement may be influenced by one or more of these three factors: interactions among person, situation, and the next is object. Factors are likely to occur. So personal factors may be like your personal need or importance, or maybe your personal interest or value. So when you have some personal factors, so definitely that you will go, why you will be involving with the advertisement to satisfy those needs. Object or stimulus factors are the differentiation of the alternative. We have a different alternatives with some product or some with the help of some advertisement of different companies, you find some different, right? So different alternatives are there. Then source of communication may be different, content of communication may be different. Then situational factors, that purchase, use, or occasion, some different occasions, and that the client is going to buy or use those products. So those information can be extracted and will be available in the advertisement. And also that decision totally will be depend upon your what you are thinking and thought about that. So possible result for the involvement, that would be elicitations of the counter arguments to ad, maybe the plus or minus means the positive or negative. Effectiveness of the ad to induce purchase. So ads are so effective that which instill you or induce you to buy those products. Relative importance of the product class and perceived differences in the product attributes. You will see something in the ad that some attributes of one product is totally different from the attributes of the another product, because of the attributes, right? Because of the qualities, because of the features, that you are preferring the one alternative to the another one. Then preferences for the particular brand, you want some, maybe the Nike or some other brand, or a CK, or maybe the different brands are there. It all depends upon the person to person, their experience and their choices. Then influences of the price of the brand choice, whatever the brand that you are going to choose, but also the some factors is the price is the most important factor in this case. If the very good product or good brand that you are buying with the very less price, then definitely your buying decision will be different, right? You definitely will buy it. Then time spent deliberating alternatives, and that will be the possible result of the involvement. And type of decision rules used in choice. Inertia, what is the meaning of this? Inertia means the consumption at low end of involvement, when there is a very less involvement in buying those products, and we make decisions out of our habits, means there is no or very less motivation to buy those things, not a big motive, right? Or maybe some daily to daily routine items, you go to the grocery store, you buy something that you don't think much about buying those things, just you put this in the cart, right? And maybe some milk items or some cheese or some other grocery items. So there will be some lack of motivations. Then flow status to involvement with a product. So playfulness and being in control, the concentration or focused on the intentions, and the mental enjoyment of the activity for its own sake. Like when you are just going to use those product, you want to involve on those activities, and if you feel enjoyment, so it means the more involvement is required for those particular products. Distorted sense of time and a match between a challenge at hand and one's skill. So now look at this level of involvement, maybe high or low. So high in case of when you are going to go for the car, buying of the car, definitely you will go for the test drive, and you when you feel comfortable you buy, because that is most expensive things that you are going to buy after the real estate. And some new product that you're going to buy, again there will be like some cognitive decisions that you're going to have. And effective will be maybe something a jewelry or a motorcycle. And if you talk about the media, print, online, and information based, right? And effective, that will be the media, like maybe TV, video, image based. Low involvement will be there if you want to buy some meat or something, there will be low involvement in that. Or the alternative that you can say, go for the candy, and a household cleaners and a liquor. The media maybe for just for 10 seconds ad and IDs and a POS reminder, then point of sale reminder, attentions and grabbing. So that will be the media. So point of sale means that when you go to pay some amount for the product that you have bought, so that is the some point of sale. So product involvement. So product involvement means consumers' level of interest in the product. When you're talking to the client and the client is so interested and fully involved in the discussion, it means the client is ready to buy something and have some interest in that. That's why that client is spending some time and involved in the discussion. Otherwise, that if someone is ignoring this one, don't want to talk much on this, means less of involvement and not interested. Many sales promotions attempt to increase the product involvement. So mass customizations, like customization and personalization of the product and services for the individual customers at the mass production price. So what is means? Like customization, that if someone want to buy a couch on their on the requirement, as per their requirement, maybe 5 seater, 6 seater, or 7 seater, right? So the customization of the product. Someone want to buy some vehicle, but that should be customized vehicle. No doubt that will be some costly, but even that involve more involvement. That particular product will involve the people more and more, because that they want that product in their own way. Guerrilla marketing, it says that marketers use low cost unconventional marketing tactics to gain the customer attention and involvement. So consumer interest in real time events, so real time marketing, right? And marketer experiment with novel ways to increase the consumer involvement. For example, how the marketers they want their client should be involved for the long period of time, and that will be the such as, for example, the games on the website and integrative mobile marketing. Purchase situation involvement. So differences that occur when buying the same object for a different context. So you want to buy something, right? But the situation is totally different. So in this case, the involvement will be also different. For example, that you want to buy some wedding gifts, right? If you want to buy some wedding gift for your boss, then the purchase you would definitely will purchase some expensive vest to show that you want to impress your boss. On the other side, if you want to buy something for your cousin, even you don't like that, but even that you have to buy something to give, right? So then you definitely will go for buying something which is not so expensive as was to show your indifferent, right? So the product is same, the motive is totally different. So this is we can say number of faces, multi faces of the involvement in the same kind of product. So now the segmenting by the involvement level, that allows the consumer, the researchers, to capture the diversity of the involvement construct, and also involved or allows for involvement to be used as a basis for marketing segments. What are the different strategies to increase the involvement? So we know the meaning of involvement of the client in the product or services. So there are some strategies. So by using those strategies, that customers can increase their involvement in those products and services that your company is offering. The marketer can enhance or increase the product or consumer's motivation to process relevant information fairly, easily, by using one or more of the following techniques. Appeal to consumer hedonic needs, means sensory appeals. This is the one. And second one is the novel stimuli, mean cinematography, right? Just like some video shoot or something, then definitely people involve more. Then sudden silence, if like sudden silence is there, and definitely other person will think like, why that he was just talking and now why this the person is silent. Just in this way, the something they will involve in the conversation, something like that, right? And unexpected emotions, like some moment of something, maybe article or body postures or movement. Use a prominent stimuli, means loud music, large ads, different colors, and fast actions, right? And induce celebrity endorsers. Some celebrities are there, definitely they generate high interest in the mind of the people, and the people just try to grab attention so towards the celebrities. This is also one way and strategies to increase the involvement. If the same ad is given by some stranger and the same ad which is given by some celebrities that most of the people know, then definitely there will be a total difference in the involvement of the client. Build a bond with the consumer by maintaining an ongoing relationship. So that is a relationship marketing. If we talk about the effective response and what are the different types, so types of effective responses. What is the first of all effect? This is referred to the experience of emotionally laden status, which can range from the evaluation to moods or to full blown emotion. Evaluation, that is balanced, means a positive or negative. Some product are there or services that some companies are providing. There may be some positive and negative aspects of that. So that is evaluation. So you are going to evaluate something, the client is going to evaluate. There will be, because of that evaluation, there may be some reactions to that particular event or that particular objects, and that are not accompanied by the high level of arousals. So moods involves a temporary positive or negative affective state accompanied by moderate level of arousal. Emotions that tends to be more intense and are often related to the specific triggering events. Maybe some sad event or bad event or a good event, or on the basis of those that the emotions change. And if the emotions change, they are just going to buy some product or services. Now, if we talk about this advertisement here, and so look, by looking at this advertisement, right, it shows that someone is having a shelter on something, or there should be something like that. This advertisement uses a sad imagery to evoke, mean to draw the negative moods on the part of the consumer, and the consumer are likely to donate to the cause to repair such a negative moods. So negative moods, they just generated in the mind of the client, so that is the negative mood. So that something hurt, you want to just make it a repair, you want to repair such a negative moods. So this is also kind of some advertisement. And so types of effects stage says that effect as a product benefit, maybe Viagra or a Coke open happiness, right? Coca-Cola ad that will induce you for the happiness. A negative state relieves, that say helping can relieve the negative moods, right? If you're going to help someone, then your negative moods that you change. Most of the time that we have experienced this, when you help someone, maybe that you are giving food to some beggar or some needy people, then you feel energetic, you feel very happy at that time. It means that you're repairing some negative moods, because when you saw someone who is begging on the roadside, maybe small children, and you're giving just 10 bucks or a 20, right? So after then, that what you did, you have just repaired your negative mood, which was arousal by looking at the first sight on that kind of incidents. Then mood congruency means that a positive moods leads to the positive evaluation. Sometimes that we are so happy and we see everything that is happy. Sometimes that we are sad, we are not, our mood is upset, then we see that everything is not good, right? So when we are not happy, it seems the good things look like bad thing, we don't want, right? I don't like this one. But later on you realize that I like that one, because at that time my mood was not right. So this is known as mood congruency. So how social media taps into our emotions, sentiments and analysis, right? There may be some opinion mining. This is the process that score the social media universe to collect and analyze the words that people use when they describe a specific product or a specific company, right? So this is the sentiments, so sentiments that attached with the product or services which is produced by the manufacturer or by the companies. The word phrase dictionary, like there are some certain words that tend to relate to the emotions, like for example someone say that save people, hmm? Save country. So some emotions, some words that stimulate, that comes in the mind, so that they accordingly they just feel to donate maybe, or to just contribute to the society. Now next is, this is also kind of emotions that is related to the happiness, that is the discrete emotions. So the happiness, the first, the mental state of well-being characterized by the positive emotions. Whenever when you feel happy, feel happy when you have a positive emotions. Materialism and happiness, something that you buy, then you feel happy. Something that you have to buy, like those things, but you don't feel so happy, right? So this is something like all emotions depends upon the some articles, some experience, some situation and uniqueness of the people. Materialism, or that is sometimes like you buy something, you feel very less happy, right? As compared to the experiential purchase, means you feel more happy when you purchase for a life experience. Spending money on others versus spending money on self, sometimes you feel very happy you buying and spending money on other people, maybe your relative or friends. Sometimes that you feel uh, not good when you buy something for yourself, right? So this is an example of the happiness. Coca-Cola ad during the Christmas time with the music that create happiness. So discrete emotions. Sometimes, on the other side, the second type of emotions, that is envy. So envy means the negative emotions, not the positive one. That is totally related with the desire to reduce the gap between oneself and someone who is a superior on the same on some dimension. So in this case, that you want to fill the gap. Take an example of one person is having a Mercedes car, right? Other person is having some normal simple car, right? Maybe Honda City or something like that. So there is a gap between these two, right? So one gap and another gap. So something, some jealousy, some envy that will come in the mind of the first one. So there are two kind, that benign and malicious. So benign Envy is mean jealous is the different from the another one. Benign envy occurs when the individual believes that the superior other deserve his or her state, whatever that you have, right? And other people are also having, and you feel yes, other people deserve this one, right? And this is, for example, the newest model of the iPhone. The newest model of the iPhone comes, if you think like the other people is having the newer version of this, then you also just try to buy this one or same thing, and you think like that person maybe from your community, from your friends or relatives or someone, you think like that person deserve it. So same model, that let's say take an example of iPhone 14 Pro, and just then you see that you don't feel envy in that case. And the second one is the malicious envy occur when the consumer believe that the superior other does not deserve his or her status, whatever the status is does not deserve it, right? You think like oh, this kind of guys are having these kind of mercy, they don't deserve it. So in this case what happened, for example, but are instead willing to pay more for a different product but in the same category, instead of iPhone that they buy Samsung phone, right? So they think like the one of his friend, they are having this kind of mobile phone. If I don't want to buy that one, I want to buy some different, like maybe costly, right? Samsung instead of iPhone. So that is the malicious enemy. Guilt. So the guilty one, sometimes we feel guilty, right? So this is also emotions. An individual unpleasant emotion state associated with the possible objections to his or her action, inaction, or circumstances or intentions. So guilt appeals that can backfire if too extreme, and that may be in a retail context. For example, the guilt is often activated in the context where marketers want consumer to engage in pro-social behavior such as charitable giving, right? So I have just given one example of this, that something that you want to give something to the society to save the environment, right? Some people are suffering with the cancer, that you, if something that you feel that there should be some money should be given to these kind of people, and you feel guilt that you are not contributing something. So because of that you just sacrifice some dollars and give to them. Embarrassment is what, this is also emotions, like it's a social emotions driven by concern for what other are thinking about it or about us. Sometimes this sense comes in our mind that what other people will think about me or us, right? So sometimes unwanted events communicate undesired information about oneself to others. To be embarrassed, one must be aware of and care about the evaluating the social audience, whether it's real or imagined. Sometimes it's dependent on the product category. For example, when one is out on a dinner date and a rejection of one's credit card can be very embarrassing experience. At the time of making payment, it's very difficult for them. That is embarrassing, right? Embarrassment in the consumer context most often arises when socially sensitive products are purchased. For example, adult diapers, tampons, hair lease shampoos can be embarrassing product for some of the customers. So what we have learned today, so we have learned how motivation helps us understand what cause people to behave in certain way in order to satisfy an aroused need. And also we have learned the Maslow hierarchy of needs.